भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय नमो विष्णुपदाय कृष्ण कृष्णाय पुत्राय श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी निति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवी गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे मुखं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुं दीनतारिणे. So today we'll see verse number 14 of shloka number 14 of chapter 5. Let's chant the shloka. न कर्तृत्वं न कर्माणि
न कर्तृत्वं न कर्माणि
लोकस्य सृजति प्रभु
लोकस्य सृजति प्रभुः
न कर्म फल संयोगम
न कर्मफलसंयोगं
स्वभावस्तु प्रवर्तते
स्वभावस्तु प्रवर्तते
न कर्तृत्वं न कर्माणि
न कर्तृत्वं न कर्माणि
लोकस्य सृजति प्रभु
तस्य सृजति प्रभु
न कर्म फल संयोगम
न कर्मफलसंयोगं
स्वभावस्तु प्रवर्तते.
स्वभावस्तु प्रवर्तते
Please chant.
न कर्तृत्वं न कर्माणि लोकस्य सृजति प्रभु न कर्मफलसंयोगं स्वभावस्तु प्रवर्तते
न कर्तृत्वं न कर्माणि लोकस्य सृजति प्रभु न कर्मफल संयोगं स्वभावस्तु प्रवर्तते.
न कर्तृत्वं न कर्माणि लोकस्य सृजति प्रभुः न कर्मफलसंयोगं स्वभावस्तु प्रवर्तते.
न कर्तृत्वं न कर्माणि लोकस्य सृजति प्रभु न कर्मफलं संयोगं स्वभावस्तु प्रवर्तते.
Thank you very much. So translation and purport. The embodied spirit, master of the city of the body, does not create activities, nor does he induce people to act, nor does he create fruits of action. All this is enacted by modes of material nature. Purport. The living entity, as will be explained in the 7th chapter, is one of the energies or natures of the Supreme Lord, but is distinct from matter, which is another nature called inferior of the Lord. Somehow, the superior nature, the living entity, has been in contact with the material nature since time immemorial. The temporary body or material dwelling place which is obtained is the cause of varieties of activities and their resultant reaction. Living in such a conditional atmosphere, one suffers the results of activities of the body by identifying himself in ignorance with the body. It is ignorance acquired from the time immemorial that is the cause of bodily suffering and distress. As soon as living entity becomes aloof from the activities of the body, he becomes free from reactions as well. As long as he is in the city of the body, he appears to be master of it. But actually, he is neither its proprietor nor controller of its action and reactions. He simply is in the midst of the material ocean struggling for existence. The waves of ocean are tossing him and he has no control over them. His best solution is to get out of water by transcendental Krishna consciousness. That alone will save him from turmoil. So, past last few shlokas, Krishna told Arjuna that if the living entity or the soul gets aloof from the bodily activities. For a person or the soul who is doing the devotional service, karma yoga in devotional service, he has higher consciousness and he can understand that the material senses are engaged in the body and he is aloof, and so he does not get entangled. Right? So here the discussion or the instructions are going to more further in details. Right? So here, yesterday we saw that if the yogi remains aloof from the material activities, then he can be happy in this city of nine gate, which is body, which is representation as body. Right. So here now Krishna is saying that the spirit soul or the embodied spirit, he does not create any action or any reaction of the karma. It is done by the modes of material nature. So modes of material nature is prakriti, right? The facilities that are provided for us to fulfill the desires. So the living entity desires, and his desire is fulfilled through this prakriti, or the material nature, or the objects, material objects which satisfy our desire. So the soul, uh, the main point is the soul is not only the, so we can understand that, okay, even if the soul desires to have something, it cannot have it on its own independently. The material nature has to provide it. Right? So in this way, there are more factors involved in accomplishment of any desire. Right? So yesterday, till yesterday, Krishna only introduced living entity. Now Krishna introduced material nature. That is one of the instrument in fulfilling the desires. But how the material nature acts, that is still not explained, right? So how material nature will become active? So we know that this material nature from the pradhan is created by the supreme lord, okay, Mahavishnu. When he looks at the pradhan, then all the action starts, right? So there must be some connection there. How all this material nature starts operating to fulfill the desires of the spirit soul. So one more point here to be understood is the conditioned soul, right? Many times the conditioned soul word comes. So how to understand in very simple language that the soul is how it identifies with the body and how it operates in that particular condition. So here the word swabhav is coming, right? So swabhav is the original nature that is acquired by the soul. You know, with the soul, the way soul identifies with that particular body, accordingly it acquires some nature or swabhav, that the way it acts. So for example, okay, I am born in India. Okay, so I have Indian body. So my way of thinking, my way of eating, everything is connected somehow to India, because I lived there from the beginning, and I'm used to that type of eating habits, sleeping habits, dressing habits, working habits. So now, even if I am in Japan, for example, or even for that sake, any country, even if I go to any country, okay, even if I am staying in Japan or in US or anywhere, what will I eat daily? I will eat the food that I used to eat in India, right? So if I am used to eat uh, dal, sabji, and roti, same thing I will eat in Japan also. So the point is, why I am doing this, though I am now staying in Japan, why I am not only eating the Japanese food? Because I am conditioned to the Indian body and Indian that habits. So I will naturally act in that particular way. So this is what we call conditioning. A Japanese person, even if he goes to India, he will try to search or he will try to manage in such a way that he is comfortable and he is comfortable in his original swabhav, original nature, that is Japanese, right? So it takes time for everyone to adjust to the new conditions because we are already used to particular type of habits. That is what is swabhav. So this is a simple example to understand how we are conditioned to this body or how we are identified with this body. So the soul in the Indian body identifies this as Indian. But from a neutral or higher consciousness point of view, we can understand that okay, soul is in the body of Indian person or Japanese person or Russian persons. Anyone, the soul is there. Body may be different. So, but this is the conditions that I or the swabhav that I have acquired in this Indian body, and accordingly I act. Right. So the point here, Krishna is saying that the embodied spirit, who is the actually owner of this body. Mm. So he is not inducing or he is not creating any actions or reactions for the body, but still the soul. So, but all this is created by material nature. So, in one way, because the soul is in the body, the soul is suffering or enjoying the reactions of the activities. Right. So, why the soul should suffer? Because soul initially desired something, and that desire has to be fulfilled. And now that desire is fulfilled in his particular swabhav by the material nature. So there is something more in between this soul or living entity's desire and the material nature. How the material nature will act. The material nature cannot act directly by the under the living entity, right? Because living entity is not controller of all this material nature. He may be controller of the body in this one particular body because he's master of this body. So he can control this body, but he cannot control the externals. Not all the externals can be controlled by. I cannot control everything around me. What is happening? The sun, or the vehicles, sun, moon, stars, they will go by their own way. Even the trains will go by their schedule, bus will go, flights will go. I cannot control all these things. So this is controlled by something external that is beyond my capacity, through which my desires are getting sought. So Krishna will tell about that. What is more involved in this cycle of fulfilling the desires? So that we'll see tomorrow. But he's telling Arjuna that as a spirit soul, you have dharma because you are identified with this body of Kshatriya. So you should act, you should do your dharma and you should act as per your dharma. Because even if Krishna says in 18th chapter, even if you try to avoid, anyway you will act by your swabhav. So better you fight. That is natural for you. So for me, it's natural to be like Indian. So be natural like that because swabhav is like that. So Krishna's instructions to Arjuna, to us, is also that please we should act as per our nature and as good as far as possible in alignment with the Supreme Lord, so that our karma and the reactions are uh, not entangling us continuously, right? So we'll see more details. Who else is involved in fulfilling these desires in the few shlokas from tomorrow. So let's see tomorrow who else is involved and how this material nature fulfills the desires. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much. Any points, anything to be added? Okay, thank you very much. So let's see tomorrow more details. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much.
Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Hare
Thank you,
Krishna.
Hare
Thank you.
Krishna.
For joining.
Hare Krishna, thank you.